Continuing with our exploration of deep order, I'd like to share some thoughts on the emergence of personality. Now, we had said that time is fractal, so that there is a pattern that emerges on any scale, and this pattern is represented by the growth of a flower from a seed. And the three phases that this growth traverses. So we have time, and then space. We had said that behind every point in space there is a fourfold fullness. So when we consider this combination of time and space, then what it indicates is that our causal models that all occur in time and space need to be enhanced. And one such model that we had arrived at was a developmental model in which we have fullness behind any point in space, and then there's the emergence of some aspect of that fullness through the play of time that traverses through the three phases of the flower. And as the development at this mental phase proceeds even further, then more of that aspect of fullness that underlay this development comes to the surface. What we did 2 weeks ago is we deconstructed this model of development to arrive at 7 types of leadership. And just quickly summarizing, so when we talk about leadership, we had the physical type, we had the vital type, we had the mental type, we had an integrated type where a leader can switch between different types. We had the emergence of the deeper force or aspect of personality. We had a contextual leadership. Where that force that is emerging can be applied to any causal wedge in time and space. And then we had a macro leadership, which is a multiplicative function also in that wedge, so that that kind of leader is fully aware of the layer underneath all arisals and of the developmental needs of everything in a certain wedge of causality. Last week we talked about the 7 types of organizations, and pretty much there was a one-to-one mapping between these 7 types of leaderships and 7 types of organizations. Now today, when we consider personality, there's not a one-to-one mapping, but certainly the types of personalities we see emerging are derived from these 7 types. So what we see is, first of all, a physical type of personality. So a being or a person who is really oriented around the tight boundaries perceives reality as what the eye can see, and whose play is determined within fixed parameters. We have a vital type of personality, so much more experimentative, much more assertive, breaking boundaries, trying new things, but not necessarily any kind of rational order there. We have the mental type of personality, where there is more rationality, planning, objectives that are set, and the world is seen as the play of thought, but perhaps a lower kind as opposed to a higher kind of thought. Now, when we talk about the physical personality, what it means is that it's the component of fixedness that leads, and the vitality and the mentality are subservient to that. When we talk about the vital personality, Similarly, it's the physicality and the mentality that are subservient to that. So this is the key component. When we talk about the mental personality, hopefully it's the mental personality that leads, and the physicality and the vitality are subservient to that. Now we have another kind of personality emerging that can easily flip or integrate these different aspects so that that personality can switch between seeing things mentally or vitally or energetically or physically. Now, there's, in the play of this integrality, if you will, there's a unification of the different parts of the being and a more easy movement between more that consists or comprises the being. And as a result of that, there's a breakdown of the different fixed ways of seeing things that often accompany one type or the other. And as a result of that happening, then the aspect of the fourfold aspect of fullness that lay underneath all this can more easily come to the surface. So we see a personality that has more force, and that force may be a derivation of one of the four aspects. So we have, in fact, four prime types of personalities emerging here. So we have a knowledge-wisdom type of personality, driven primarily by knowledge and wisdom. We have an adventure, courage type of personality. We have a service, perfection type of personality. And we have a harmony or mutuality type of personality. And a few weeks ago I had explored in more detail what each of these four aspects may really mean. So we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 types of personalities that emerge from the fullness. And as we consider this integrative personality, so this contextual personality rather, the contextual personality means that there's a force, there's the birth of force within a certain context, a causal wedge, that pushes forward the purpose of that causality. So really this person is more can be considered a person of destiny almost. And so we have again four types of personalities where we have the knowledge wisdom, adventure courage, service perfection, harmony mutuality. But these personalities are more impersonal. They exist to achieve a much broader purpose than themselves. And so there's 9, 10, 11, 12, these contextual kinds of personalities. And then we have a personality that is far more advanced and as I mentioned in the examples of leadership and organization, much more rare. And it's a multiplicative function, and what this kind of personality implies is a very broad awareness, a consciousness of why things happen, how they happen, and how to move things forward to the next level much more quickly. And perhaps that's a 13th kind of personality, and in some circles that personality may be referred to as an avatar. So these are the 13 types of personalities that emerge from deep order.